New polls out today, all with the same sort of theme. Trump's in the lead. First, a new Washington Post, ABC News poll that has Donald Trump on top in a huge way, 32%. That's a big number. Ben Carson second with 22. Marco Rubio behind them with 10. Everybody else in single digits. From that same poll, a whopping 42% of Republican voters said that they believe Trump is, quote, most likely going to win the party's nomination. Wow. Ben Carson closest after that, 15%. Jeb Bush down at 12. Everybody else single digits. Trump not the only one winning in the national polls. In New Hampshire, a Bloomberg St. Anselm College poll, it's important in New Hampshire, has Trump in the lead with 23%, then Carson at 17 and Jeb Bush with double digits. Again, that's all in double digits. And Carl Cameron has the Republican news. He's in Washington for us. Carl, new polls, basically the same result, at least at the top.
Well, but the results at the top have a real impact down the ticket, and you saw there that Donald Trump has 2.5 times the support in New Hampshire, and that's Jeb Bush's must-win state. These polls are not good news for the former Florida governor. The super PAC that supports him has been spending money and fighting back up in New Hampshire on the air and in other states as well, and it doesn't seem to have even moved his polls in the slightest. There's another debate a week from tonight, and Bush is again planning to go after Trump's credibility, and there's another poll today showing voters are more doubtful than confident about the GOP candidates making good presidents. The NBC Wall Street Journal poll basically says Carson leads with 42%, satisfied and optimistic that he could do a good job, but 50% are uncertain and pessimistic about how he'd do in the White House. Marco Rubio and Carly Fiorina are second and third, but by a better than 2-to-1 margin, Bush, Cruz, and Trump are all viewed with more pessimism than optimism. And look at that, 67% where Trump is concerned. Bush was in Nevada today on an issue we have heard very little on, federal land use. He wants to move the Interior Department out of Washington and put it out west so it'll be closer to the people and the land most affected by government's actions, or inactions in many cases. Trump supports the government's use of eminent domain to purchase private property for federal and sometimes even private development projects, another example of his position at odds with most conservatives. So far at this event, Bush hasn't mentioned it. You'd think there'd be an attack, but every time he hits, Trump seems to go up and Bush seems to go down. Shep.
Carl Cameron in Washington. Good to talk to you, Carl. Thanks.